Lunch has arrived. Let's enjoy our lunch.
Yeah.
Looks very interesting. So yours is already at dessert. So you've taken your lunch.
I took break for lunch.
Okay, let's go.
So I'm going for dessert.
Let's enjoy. Anything we can always talk over the lunch.
Okay, one of the most important topic when you talk about visa is the banking matters. Okay, a lot of the clients' concern is why must they place in a fixed deposit? Can it be in an investment form rather than a fixed deposit? Because fixed deposit is a fixed return rate, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, some of the clients are actually asking why is it so rigid? It has to be in a term deposit. Can it be in other form of denomination like investment, bonds, or whatever? So, what is your comment on this?
Interesting. Because this is the topic that is, there are many clients who talk about this. I think you all should know as well.
Yeah. We have a lot asking.
Okay, number one, Malaysia is not a financialized country. So the investment option is very little. And the one that is that's the safest is the fixed deposit. Let me explain to you. The banking in Malaysia is 180 degrees to what the West is doing. So the people from the West, they do not understand the banking system here. The banking system here, people say it is very old-fashioned, very backward. But to be very honest, being very backward is better than being so advanced. I'll tell you the reason. Number one here is our banking, we have decided to take the traditional and conservative approach. It's the type of banking that existed in United States and all the Western countries in the 1970s. We never advanced, quote unquote advanced. But that is a good thing. Why? Number one, the banks in Malaysia, we are still doing loans and deposit. We cannot create money out of thin air. In US, yes, it is. If you go to the bank and get a loan, they will just create the money digitally in the computer.
Oh, really?
Yes, they don't need to get the money. They have this Federal Reserve, which is neither federal or neither reserve. Okay? And this is causing a lot of problem. So you go to a bank, you want a loan, they just create it out for you. So that's why the banks make a lot of money. In Malaysia, if the banks want to make a loan, they have to get the deposits in and then they loan it out. They make the money between the spread between the loans and the deposits. For example, the loan is 5%. They will give you 4% for fixed deposit. Their profit is that 1% minus all expenses. Okay. So it's very traditional, it's very safe. Number two here is the banks here must hold the loan up to maturity. If you get a loan from the bank for 10 years, the banks must hold the loan for 10 years. So they must do a good job to make sure that you have the capability to pay back the loan. In US, it's different. I'm not sure about UK. I stand corrected. It means that if you find there's information that is not correct, please let me know. I'm more than happy to correct it. But of course, I have to find out how real it is. In US, the previous issue they had was the loans that they make, they can sell it off to somebody else, to the pension funds and everybody. So imagine you want to sell a car loan. Right now they have this huge issue on the car loan. The delinquency rate is too high. Why is too high? Because they don't care. The loans they have, they issue the loans to them already. They sell these loans to other people like JP Morgan or whoever it is, or doing all these things. They package it and resell it to the financial, hedge funds or whatever it is. So they don't have any incentive to check whether the person can pay or not pay. They just give the loans. So in other words is, they don't own the loan. They don't care. They pass it on to the next person. Whereas our banks, they hold the loan all the way to the end. So it means they have to make sure that the person who takes the loan can pay. So it's very difficult. Same goes for credit card. I was rejected 3 times for my credit card. Yes. And they rejected me. Serious.
Yeah.
Yes. And also I asked for increase of limit from 36,000 up to more
Rejected
They
also.
rejected me, and it was HSBC who rejected me.
Oh my god. Serious?
Yes.
Oh.
So, the banks are very prudent. They don't simply give loans because why? They are responsible for the whole loan.
Will it be very
Yeah,
difficult
we
for a
rejected.
foreigner? I
No.
mean,
Difficulty is one thing, but it's secured. The other issue that came in was, you may not know about this, there is a law in US called Glass-Steagall. Glass-Steagall was implemented in the 1920s. It separates the investment bank and the retail bank. But in the late 1990s, Bill Clinton repealed the Glass-Steagall. I think probably has a lot of influence from the banks. So now the retail and the investment bank merge together. The problem starts is it becomes too opaque, not transparent. The money, they take your money and go and invest. They lost money, they don't tell you. It's called co-mingling of funds, and it happens all the time. And you look at the annual report, you see nothing because you don't understand. But in Malaysia, we have very distinctive investment bank and retail banking, two separate entities. For example, you have public bank, you have public mutual. These two are separate companies, completely separate. This die, this die, this die, this die. That's it, nothing. It's not related. So when you go and download the annual report, you can see that public bank is making lots of money because they are very efficient in utilizing the spread between the fixed deposit and the loans. They loan out 6%, they give you 4%, the 2%, they make a lot of money. So that's the biggest difference. So when the foreigners come in from the Western country, they have that mentality that, oh, banks are like that. No, in Malaysia. Our central bank, Bank Negara, the regulatory body, is extremely strict on insurance, banking, and all the financial services products. I think you all know that in Malaysia, your gross pay, not more than 30% for any of the installments for mortgages, for cars, is strictly enforced. That's the reason why I cannot get my credit card. Because they told me that one of your credit card, namely from public bank, oh, you have very high limit already, therefore we cannot give it to you at HSBC. When you have all these issues in difficulty, it actually means that the banks are doing their jobs. If they don't ask you any questions, you should look at it the other way and say that they are not doing their job. They just want to make money from you. So you have to understand, you have to tell your sister, was she from US or UK? Not your sister, sorry, your niece. I think it's UK, correct, if I'm not mistaken. US, sorry. So US is a little bit more, I know more about US than UK. So that's why I say that they have the insurance called FDIC. It's like our PIDM. But many of the locals here don't bother about PIDM because you can download the annual report from the website and everything is inside there, easy to understand. There's no opacity, it's all very transparent. Money in from the loans, money out, operations, salary, rental and everything, that's it. But if you have investment banking, put it in, oh, derivatives, we have this. How do you know? We don't know, nobody knows. So that is the big difference between the banking. Banks in Malaysia are very strict and very prudent when it comes to loans, deposits and everything. They want to make money, but it is being constrained by Bank Negara, that they have only this limited space to go around. So banking is safe. The other one is identity theft. Identity theft in Malaysia is very rare. It does happen, but most of the time it's because the son took the dad's ATM and go and withdraw the money. That's the usual case. It's not that somebody will take it and go and do something else, because you need to have the identity card to go and do it, and they need to verify all the identity. Whereas in US and UK, identity theft is so common. So this is completely a different departure from what you have in United States. You have to try to explain to your niece. If not, then we can always arrange a conference call or video call and I can explain to her. So when it comes to the money in the bank, why is it there are no other investment? Is because investment, you are not guaranteed on the return of capital. Not return of capital, return on the capital.
Yeah,
it means
true
that the
also.
capital can disappear.
Correct.
Fixed deposit, the only thing is the money, the amount goes up. So
Does this work for every bank across Malaysia?
yes, correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
It means that you put in
They're not capital
100,000.
guaranteed.
You put in 100,000. At the end, you're going to take more than 100,000. If you put into an investment, it can go down.
Yeah.
And we do not want to. And not all the investment, how are you going to ensure that they use the right investment and all these things? So the easiest way to lock it in is to use the fixed deposit. Why they are very scared, or why they are very reluctant is because fixed deposit rate in United States and UK and a lot of all those Western countries, they artificially suppress it. And in Europe, just before COVID, is negative interest rates. You know what's negative interest rates? You put in 1,000 ringgit, at the end of the year, it becomes 995 only. They deduct off. That is not including the fees. So that's why it's very difficult.
So let's just say my niece opened an account, which is a multi-currency. Will this account will be affected by like whatever, what you just
Okay.
said?
Ringgit Malaysia is very safe. You can dispute with me, no problem. You can send email to me or you can, tell me whatever it is. Because in 1997, Mahathir ring-fenced the ringgit. Ringgit is only valid inside Malaysia, not outside Malaysia. So speculators and all these people decided that Malaysia is not worth speculating at all. So that's why our currency is ring-fenced. That's why right now our currency maintains the same, but all other Western currencies, the depreciation is quite great. Bear in mind that US dollars, euro and all this belongs to the country. If you put it in a multi-currency, in yen, in euro, whatever, the Eurozone has every right towards that money. If they decide that they want to tax you or confiscate you, they can do it if they want to. So it's something that you have to bear in mind. We just had one client this morning talking about this. He is very afraid of the euro and he wants to take it out. That's why right now banks allow you to open a bank account with the acknowledgement receipt, and he really wants to bring the money over. Because Malaysia never played any of the financial games. That's why our currency is still the traditional one. Our banking is still the traditional one.
Will there be any changes in the future, like the way the banking works right now?
Not for Malaysia. Malaysia will still remain the same. But for other currencies, I believe there is a chance that they are going to make it more difficult. They ask a lot of questions. Why you try to clear out all your money? Where do you go to? So that's why a lot of people decided that, I had enough of all this. If you are still sleeping in the country, then I will say God help you. But if you realize that something is not right, which many people are feeling right now, then many already start to bring their money over. Yeah, you can always get your sister, please, get your sister to talk to me. I can explain to them. There's a lot more inside this. A lot more than what I'm saying now. Okay, confiscation is one of the things that people are very scared of, for those who know. It means that your money can just disappear. Okay?
Like what happened to Cyprus previously, right? Was that the case that
yes,
happened there?
Cyprus was a test case. Let me just eat one mouse first.
What actually happened to Cyprus? Because
Cyprus was a test
few
case.
of our clients were
Burnt.
burned quite badly, when they went to
I'll
Cyprus.
tell you the story of Cyprus. Cyprus was part of EU. And in 2001 or 2, the first country to pass this law is New Zealand, followed by Australia and the rest of the countries. It's called the bail-in laws. It's very difficult for you to find on the internet now because it was scrubbed.
Oh,
Bail-in law means that if you are banking in these countries, you put the money in, you are not the depositor. They changed the definition to become you are the creditor. It means you loan the bank money.
even you put money there is considered as loan.
Yeah, you loan the bank money.
It's ridiculous.
that
Yes,
legal?
it is. No, it is legal because you know why they passed the law. Malaysia doesn't have this. So it means that if the bank go belly up, you are all on hook because you loan the bank money. So Cyprus was the test case. Cyprus, the bank got into big problem. So what they did was, everybody take a haircut, deduct 10, 20, 30% of your money. So that's the reason why Cyprus was the test case. So people who knew about this, they realized about it. So imagine if you have €1 million or $1 million US dollars or £1 million in a place, and suddenly they decided that no, this bank cannot go on already, it will go belly up, and everybody inside there will take a 20% haircut. I don't know. They can.
Okay,
They change the
I
rules.
have to interrupt you. Because of this experience that they have been through, the question that our client normally asks us, you have this guarantee by the bank or the government that they only guarantee you up to 250,000 ringgit. But now the term deposit exceeds that amount. So their concern is also on that, you see or not? So they
Earlier.
are saying that now I'm putting 150,000 US dollars, which is about between 700 to 750 ringgit Malaysia. And then the guaranteed amount assured is only 250. So does that mean that the remaining sum will be wiped out because it's not guaranteed?
The first thing you can do is you tell them that the banks are very different from the West. That's number one. Number two is go and ask them to download the annual report of the bank. Public bank make billions out of this.
Yeah.
Our banking system is different because it is transparent. We don't have the investment banking inside. So anybody who can read an annual report, which is not difficult, you can download the report and read for yourself. Choose the bank that has the most profit. So to be very honest, that's why in Malaysia here, you have to tell your clients, you have to tell your niece. In Malaysia here, nobody really cares about the PIDM insurance because they know that the banks are strong. Banks are strong. Ask them to go and download the report and see. They cannot do it in their own countries because their banks are opaque. They mix the investment and the retail together. There are a lot of issues involved in the Western bank. It's not safe at all, Western bank.
That's the reason also partly because of banking in Malaysia, there's so much red tape because they're trying to curb all these issues like why do I need to go to the bank just to sign one withdrawal of 10 ringgit when I can actually do it, So actually when you take it from that perspective, it's actually they are trying to protect your money if there is any scam or
Correct.
whatever. So that's where the red tape comes
So
in.
you turn around. You turn around and tell the clients.
Because they tend to compare, oh, it's so convenient when I do it with my overseas bank. I don't even visit my bank.
Convenience comes with a price.
Yeah, true.
Convenience comes with a price.
Yeah.
Okay? So remember that there are two types of people coming to Malaysia. One is working remotely, one is retired. If yours is retired, do you really want to invest your retirement funds in a fund or in something that can lose money?
That's true.
Put it into a fixed deposit here. 1 million ringgit here, although it is not a lot, you get 2,000 to 3,000 ringgit in interest per month. You put in 5 million ringgit, it's 10 to 15,000 already. More than enough for you to stay here in Malaysia, especially you don't have a rental now because you already bought a house. So they don't need to touch any of the money. You have to tell your niece about it. If he decided that I want to retire, I want to have it easy, put it this way.
Which is true lah. For me, I put all my money in fixed deposit. So I know that my money is protected. My capital is protected. So I can sleep peacefully every night. I can work peacefully every day. Things like that lah. Probably, yeah, he has some point in that.
But if I put my money into a fixed deposit, am I still able to withdraw a portion
Yes.
out of it?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, alright.
So if I have 10 ringgit in fixed deposit, I can withdraw anytime at 10 ringgit.
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you may lose the interest, but the money is still there.
Yeah, you
If
will
you
lose
put
the
inside a fund, sometimes they may not allow you to withdraw one,
Yeah.
They call it gating.
Yeah.
They gate it means that you cannot withdraw anymore.
Yeah.
So again, coming back to this one here is that our banking system is very different. Even our medical insurance also is very different. Because the central bank, Bank Negara, actually protects the citizens here. You compare to other countries, they don't. In fact, they try to rip you off also. Yeah, I'm very serious.
Wow,
If anybody wants to, talk to me on all this, I can talk about this the whole day.
I have one question because my niece is in the US. They are very active with those coins, like things like bitcoins and cryptocurrencies. Here's the thing. Will the bank in Malaysia recognize this sort of transaction? Because I heard it's not a legal tender over here. So how are they going to convert this money? I mean, this funds, bitcoins, and cryptocurrency, and put it into their fixed deposit.
Not all banks will accept cryptocurrency deposit. Some will not. The more conservative banks will not. So it depends. You can always have more than one bank account. Remember that you can have one bank account for your MM2H, and you can have as many bank accounts outside as you like. So you can choose which bank you want. Oh, this bank doesn't accept cryptocurrency, fine. I know it's very safe because they are not into all these things that they don't know. So I put my money there. Then I want to play around, I open another bank. See, a lot of people don't understand that they can have multiple bank accounts, not only one.
Which is true. They thought that, that as an MM2H visa holder, they cannot open multiple banking accounts with other banks, which is what we have to tell our clients.
So, banking is very different. And again, as what I said just now, if you think that your sister wants to get a lot more information about the banking and everything, contact us. I'm open. It's just that they need to have a paradigm shift. It's completely different.
Our clients are also concerned. Bank A give an interest rate of this much. Bank B gives an interest rate of this much. The following year, the interest rate differs. And they're asking, why is the rate between the two banks can differ so much? Because now they're putting so much into the fixed deposit. So any fluctuation will impact them financially, not much, but to a certain extent as well.
The new MM2H, the requirements are very high compared to the old ones.
Yes.
So it means that they have excess money.
Correct.
Okay, and why banks, the interest rate is very different? There's only one very simple answer.
Because they are all operating in Malaysia, so they are asking why is the rate so different? Because when they park the money for MM2H visa purposes, they choose this bank because at that point of time the rate was the highest. Okay, but
I know.
subsequently it went down so low, So they start to ask why is there such a
I give you a
big
difference.
variation? Yeah.
If the bank needs money to loan out and they check their money inside the bank, they don't have enough money, they need to replenish. So when they start to replenish, they will give you good rates because they always say fresh funds. Okay? For example, let me say that there's this company coming in. Let's say Samsung comes into Malaysia. I think it happened before. And they want to build a very big factory. Samsung needs 500 million ringgit or 500 million US for the factory and wants to borrow the money. One bank cannot do it. So they have a group of banks called a syndicated loan to the bank, to the Samsung. So 10 of them will come in together. You public bank give so much, UOB give so much, add up 500 million for you. But because they don't have the money, so they will put out fresh funds, we are giving you 5.5%. Why? Because they need the money to give to Samsung. And why is it some of them don't have this is because they found out their reserve is very low because they're not efficient. And they don't need the money. When they have too much money, what the banks do? Lower the interest rate. They don't want you to come to my bank. Okay, so to answer your question, it depends on the bank.
So we have to tell our client, when the bank drops your interest rate, that means they are cash rich.
Yes. So very simple. Ask them to have multiple bank accounts. Have multiple bank accounts. Have multiple bank accounts. One for MM2H, the rest for you to use. You move here and there. Since you are so-called retired already, you have all the time in the world, move the bank account here. Sometimes you can even negotiate with the bank.
But the MM2H money, they cannot move around.
Just leave it there.
Just leave it with
Just
one
leave
bank.
it
They
there.
cannot change
It's only
the bank.
300K.
Yeah.
Okay. You see, 300K at 4% interest is about 12,000 ringgit. At 3% interest, now there's a big difference, 1%, 3% interest is 9,000 ringgit. So it's only 3,000 ringgit difference only per year. It's not really,
Which is true lah.
it's not really huge sums. Okay, divided out by 12 months, it's how much only? It's only 200 plus ringgit per month. So what's the big deal? You have your own money, you move around. So you have
It's
to
your
tell
own non-MH MM2H money that you move around lah.
So you have to tell your niece on this, that don't always look only at the MM2H fixed deposit. It's not really a lot. After you take out half for silver, it's already 300 plus thousand only.